www.flashandbladepodcast.net. And now, this.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Hello there, welcome to the Flushing Bloke podcast. I forget who I am, and with me is Eduardo Sinister.
Hello.
Hello, Eduardo.
How's it going?
How's the slug?
It's not a slug.
Uh-huh.
It's a hairy slug.
Has your wife turned around and said, last night's dinner, after kissing you?
No.
Okay. Just wondering, that's all. So, and let's take these off so that people can actually see my face rather than glare. It also means your face blurs. It's nice.
It's not a bad thing.
Not really. So, news.
This is the news.
That was his news jingle. You like your news jingle, don't you?
It's very powerful.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it scream at you, this is the news?
Kind of.
Not up there with the BBC, though, is it?
No.
No, it isn't. So, the Dad's Army film has been cast. And my God, what a cast!
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, Toby Jones as Manring. Just, isn't too bad. Bill Nye as Sergeant Wilson. That lad Neil off The Inbetweeners as Pike. Is it Tom Courtenay as Jones? Michael Gambon as Godfrey.
Yeah, he's got to be the oldest one there, hasn't he?
What, the actor or the character?
Actor.
Well, yeah, but that's apt for Godfrey.
Yeah.
I mean, Godfrey was very active in World War One, but as a medic because he was a pacifist. It also means he's probably not going to have that many lines. Daniel, I was going to say Keyes. Daniel Mays as Walker.
Good choice.
It was either that, or they could have gone for Leslie Grantham, who did it on the stage play. But possibly he's a bit too old now.
He's too old now.
Yeah. And if we missed out on... Oh, yeah, Bracewell as Fraser.
We're doomed.
We're all doomed. Mark Gatiss is in it. I'm hoping as the Reverend Timothy Farthing. Is that he's going to be some sort of captain?
Do you think they're going to be doing impressions of the original cast or their own take on the characters?
I have no idea, because the characters are very well...
Defined.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
That's a good word. I was scrabbling around. I was going to say well written, well known, well defined. So it's all there for them. And I think Dad's Army, the fact that it is so well loved, that's how they've managed to draw this cast. And the script must be up to something to get the cast, in fairness. I mean, the basic plot, D-Day's happened, and the Wilmington-on-Sea platoon having to guard certain things in Dover, but apparently there's a spy somewhere in Wilmington-on-Sea. I'm hoping they film in the same town. That would be good. Admittedly, it might be a bit awkward when he sits... Oh, no, they could have a little crossfade. He could sit on the bench and it crossfades to the statue of Arthur Lowe as Manring. That would be a nice touch. Yeah. I'll write in and suggest that, because they listen to me.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rather looking forward to it. Catherine Zeta-Zeta is a journalist who's come to write up all about Manring and Co. Yeah.
Maybe she's... No. She could be the spy.
Jimmy Perry's still involved.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As well as the Croft family. So there's just a chance it might be okay. Not like the Centrinians films. So, fingers crossed. What other news? Oh, there's a chance we're going to be at Winter London Film and Comic Con on the Sunday. when Lala Ward is there.
It's not 100%.
No, not yet.
But if we're going to be there, it'll be on the Sunday.
It'll be the Sunday. You'll recognise me. I'll be the one in the incredibly long red scarf.
I'll be the one surrounded by bodyguards.
You'll really be able to see you, will you?
Not really.
No. At least you haven't vanished, unlike your mate Kim Jong-un.
He's not very well.
No.
I did send him a card.
Apparently he's eating too much Emmental cheese.
Yeah.
Bit bad, really, isn't it? Oh, well.
Perhaps this time they'll put me in charge.
Do you think? You haven't got the look, really. You're not short and tubby.
No, but I'm very good at having people executed.
That's very true. And they've officially denied to the UN. They actually came out and said that, all right, we got work camps, but they're not nasty.
Of course not.
No. These people love doing what...
The barbed wire is to stop animals getting in rather than the people getting out.
Do you think?
Yeah.
And they're such happy workers.
Oh, undoubtedly. You don't hear them complaining.
Strange, that. Anyway, now, from the world's BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's... What is it?
Doctor Who?
The 14th Doctor Who has mistakenly told Courtney, the girl from The Caretaker and a couple of shows back, that she's not special. All right, she's a disruptive influence, but she's not special. Which has thrown her off the rails a bit, because you can see she sort of admires the Doctor a little bit. Now, one of the Claras isn't very happy about this. And so the Doctor, to try and make it up, thinking this will do the trick, how do you want to be the first woman on the moon? Except they land on the shuttle, which is about to crash on the moon with the sound of screeching tyres. Mistake there, I think.
Ooh, you went super blurry just now.
Did I? I know why.
I thought I was having one of my attacks.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you better kill the attackers. I know why this is because my something just went bang.
I thought we were having a wibbly wobbly kind of,
Diddly them. We're having a flashback to last Saturday. They're out to kill the moon. The moon's gravity has increased, God knows by how much. And I'm a little puzzled. I have to admit, it's in what, 2040 or 2070?
Wasn't it 2047 or something?
Yeah, something like that. Not quite sure how this fits into... Is it 2070 Moonbase was done? Anyway, and they've been sent to blow the moon up using a load of nukes. A bit of a pathetic British crew, really. On a clapped out old space shuttle.
Well, they've got no astronauts left, have they?
Well, this is a point that the show made.
Yes.
Got to stop being so insular.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the same point, sort of, in The Seeds of Death.
Yes, where they were using TMAT all the time and had stopped looking outwards and were just...
Exactly.
No one had ridden a rocket for years.
No.
Yeah.
So, it's a nice point to have been made. Admittedly not made that strongly, but... Courtney is the first girl on the moon. It's one small thing for a thing.
Is it me, or has she grown between episodes?
Possibly.
She looked very tall.
Actually, I think she's going to be at the Comic-Con, actually. And there are nasty things on the moon. Nasty spidery things on the moon.
Bitey things.
Ooh, scary. Turns out that the moon's an egg. And I love the way Capaldi says that. He just goes, it's an egg. I mean, he's given a line like that, how the hell do you sell it? And he did it brilliantly. And then there's a huge moral quandary. Do you kill the moon and risk killing everyone else on Earth? Or do you save it? And the Doctor steps out. As he said in Planet of Evil, you must help yourselves. No, sorry, not Planet of Evil. Caesar Doom. My mistake. My mistake. Caesar Doom says to Mobley, you must help yourselves. For me, this was gripping Doctor Who. Totally. I mean, I watched it again last night and I was still glued to the screen. I know the science is a bit wonky. I appreciate that, but again, we are talking about a man who changes his face and shows in a blue box. How it compared to the series' own internal science, not sure. However, the growing of the moon's weight and mass could be put down to the fact that not just that the thing was about to give birth, to be born, but it was already growing the second moon that it left behind.
I have just thought of a potential explanation. We could have been dealing with an extra-dimensional creature that wasn't so much being hatched as emerging into our universe, and the second moon was formed in a similar way. Because that is where I have the major problem with this. But carry on. We'll go into that in a minute.
I think it does work if you actually think about it. I mean, there was a second moon. This is where that extra mass comes from.
Yeah.
Hence the increase in gravity. It works. It does work. I mean, the creature's obviously born pregnant.
Like tribbles.
Yeah, exactly. It works. All right, at the end, we didn't see all the gravitational nonsense because they were on the beach, but difficult.
Budget.
Yeah, exactly. Difficult to do. It was conveyed to us via means of an electric television in the show, and the man at Mission Control. I don't have a problem with this one. I don't have a single problem with this one. The whole thing with Clara and the Doctor, what the Doctor did was spot on. It's time, it's time like this, humanity has to make its own decisions. It's not his right to make that decision. He's not the Time Lord Victorious. It has to be down to humankind to decide. And humankind did decide. They said, kill it. But it's his influence on Clara that saves that creature. How he went about doing it is possibly what really pissed Clara off.
He was a bit of a dick.
Oh yeah, well, as woman astronaut person bloke said, what a prat. Capaldi's Doctor isn't that likeable. And as it has been pointed out of late, I mean, I pointed out he's a lot like Bernard Black, but he's also an awful lot like Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory.
But I think his hearts are in the right place.
Oh yes, definitely. He just doesn't know how to interact with the world.
No.
He really doesn't. And again, it's Sheldon. I really don't, again, I don't have a problem with Kill the Moon. I thought it was superb. The acting was superb. Even, the girl playing Courtney, well done. I mean, that could have been a real poison chalice, but she did it brilliantly. Jerry Coleman, wow. Utter wow. It's Capaldi turning on the sixpence. And it's an egg line, which is just brilliant. I'm in love with that one. Your turn.
I haven't been looking forward to recording this episode.
I know.
I don't actually disagree with a single word you've just said, but I cannot reconcile the two halves of my opinion on this episode. So I'll give you the good parts first of all.
Okay.
I liked the return of the yo-yo.
Yes, well, that's something else. There was an awful lot. I mean, an awful lot of references to the show's past.
Yeah.
So many.
I love the way it was shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful.
I mean, the fact they pushed the boat out to go to Lanzarote,
Yeah.
get a moonscape. I mean, well done.
You know, I've got to go back there now and
Yeah.
find out where they shot that
Yeah.
bit, having done Planet of
Yeah,
Fire.
Elizabeth's going to be so happy.
Anyway, I thought the opening scenes with the spidery thing were absolutely gripping.
Well, the quote here is apparently Moffat told the writer to Hinchcliffe the shit out of it.
Yeah, and he did. And okay, so I'm not saying those are the only good parts. I just want to go through the episode.
Yeah.
After that point where
Time Hicks, we've also got views from our readers.
Yeah. After that point, I found the episode very uneven in the way it was paced. It's like it was going at a real helter-skelter pace, and then suddenly it's like it hit a brick wall and stopped. And I am struggling to get my head around some of the science. So first of all, you can challenge me all you like with the whole, this is a guy who changes his face, this is a time trap. You've got to have a suspension of disbelief in this.
Yes,
and I found that my disbelief was not so much suspended as hanging off the top of the Eiffel Tower.
What, like Mr. Chris?
It was kind of... So, number one, space shuttles are orbital vehicles only.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, don't care how big they are, 100 nuclear warheads would not be enough to destroy the moon. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number three...
Could blast it out of orbit.
Space
Like
1999.
that bounder Koenig.
Number three, the spidery things turned out not to be spiders.
Mm.
Okay, so why are they making webs? And the Doctor describes them as being unicellular life forms. Sorry, unicellular life forms look like amoeba. They do not have joints and moving parts and bits that can make webs and legs. That's not a unicellular life form. It's like, you know the film
He
Tremors?
did say they'd evolved.
You know the film Tremors, where they meet the graboids, these things that go under the ground?
No.
And at one point in the film, one of the guys says, it's the earliest life form. Ridiculous. It's clearly evolved from something else. I did love the spiders. I loved the bits of them under the rocks with their eyes and their glowy bits and all the rest of it. And then there was the bit with the moon, and I am able to kind of rationalise it that this, as I said, was perhaps an interdimensional creature, and the mass was increasing because it was coming into our dimension, and it was able to leave a moon because it, again, the same mechanism. I wish there'd been a bit more explanation along those lines, but I just kind of... Actually, I'm feeling a lot happier since I kind of thought that through, but I'm just kind of... I've been struggling for the last 6 days, and I haven't watched it since because I'm scared to, because I don't want to ruin the bits that I thought were really good, nor do I necessarily want to revisit the bits that I thought were really bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I probably will watch it again, but it's just, I found it was a very uneven episode. It was a bit like a curate's egg. It was good in parts. And as for the whole voting to turn your lights out, well, okay, number one, only half the planet got a vote. And number two, I don't see everybody necessarily agreeing.
How long does it take for the Earth to revolve if you're looking at it from the moon?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't an instant thing. The countdown's going on. We're talking nearly 45 minutes for all that to happen.
Yeah, that's not enough time for the Earth to completely... If that, okay, I'll ask you, I'll reverse the question. How long does it take the moon to travel across the sky at night? It's a damn sight longer than 45 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
So
They just did what they could, basically. They saw what they could.
I love I did like the fact that the Doctor turned up at the very nanosecond that Clara intervened.
As soon as the timeline snapped into place.
Precisely. I liked that bit. And I haven't been looking forward to recording this show because I've been reading people's comments online and I can see this is a really, really divisive episode.
No.
And I didn't particularly like it very much because of the bits I've mentioned, and I'm finding it really hard to get past some of those areas.
Tell you what, you've mentioned feedback online.
Speak your praise, Turbo.
Now, I did actually ask on the Flash and Blade Facebook group for people's opinions on this one because I thought it might be a little bit contentious. Chris Lawrence says it needs another watch. Christian Ainscough, by the way, thank you, Chris. I thought it was great, and I'll explain why in feedback, which hasn't arrived yet. Tim Jury, loved it. A return to dramatic and serious themes. I'm entirely mystified by the backlash. Effects amazing, even child actor not annoying, and as someone not fond of spiders, a creepy monster. Peter Mabbott, enjoyed it. Science of it was very dodgy, I know it's sci-fi. Got the feeling that the grey areas in time bit was setting us up for later episodes. A good fun romp across the surface of the moon. Lee Wells from that 1963 show just made this comment on Babel Colour, but it's worth repeating with some edits. I think Capaldi's so-called alien characteristics this season extemporised in this episode, challenging Clara and humanity to be better than the mean-spirited narrowness he's encountered over his travels, is a message for our straitened, danger-filled, fearful society. In its own way, it's a far more political approach than the faux Thatcher running a dictatorship in the far future, and I like it. Oh, and nice to see the simple gravity reading device come back. Mr. Chin, you remember him. The tone was changing like crazy, from levity to fear and back again like a yo-yo. Not too sure why the Doctor felt the need for humans to make the decision, see also Space 1999 Breakaway, as it's not something he usually does. It almost seemed shoehorned in to drive a wedge between the Doctor and Clara. I'm now firmly in the Danny Pink is a manipulative camp.
Now, on that topic, I've said the episode was a bit uneven. It did really come to life again when the Doctor and Clara had that blazing row. And that, I thought, was bloody brilliant. You know, especially
Someone
when she
said
essentially said to him, go away and don't come back again.
I don't know if it was Dave again, but what we've got is this generation, Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
That's what she's coming over. Oh, I said Sarah Jane. Shame on me. But the Doctor makes him look like an amateur. Visually a stunning episode, except for the crap moon monster. Really? Absolutely preposterous science, possibly even more so than Space 1999. And that's saying something. However, a gripping, game-changing episode. I like the kid too. Lee Wells again. Smith tried the angry alien against humanity early on The Beast Below, didn't he? Never came up against because the madcap uncle persona came to the fore. I think that could be why part of why the story didn't happen last year. Davies has commented, was anyone else reminded of the spaced bat angel dragon in the Ted Hughes book, The Iron Man? I was worried the moon creature was going to land in Australia and demand we feed it. I'm not going to say what Ian said because he'll say it on their own show. Roger Jones, this is from a reply to Mr. Chin. If you want to know why this had to be a decision for humans to make, run the scenario the other way around. This is an epochal turning point in the history of humanity. In the history of humanity, which he knows from the greyness, though not how it pans out. If he makes a decision, he becomes the godlike Doctor that we saw Ten turn into in Waters of Mars, and he knows the consequences of that, and the dodgy morality of making such an important decision for a whole race. Heck, he's always asked, have I the right? And in that case, he left it to the Carlites to sort out too. A Doctor that decided that situation would be monstrous. Humans had to choose. Clara hates him for it, but he's right. That is what being adult is about sometimes, the terrible decisions made with uncertain outcomes and no clear moral path. And he trusted her choice, even if he no longer had the empathic way of communicating it. Note as well, he was ready to appear and save the three in the base either way. Okay, on the other hand, well, at hard sci-fi dressing, there's a lot in the story that's just fantasy magic. Oh God, Bidme must have exploded.
That's why I prefer this interdimensional theory.
Dr. Phil, who's a real doctor. The bravest Doctor Who story in a long time, didn't shy away from the hard issues, gutsy, thought-provoking, allegorical, and explores messy human issues. Well worth rewatching a lot. Right, Craig and Roger are discussing it. Harry Van Hoodnos, the third. Say hello to Harry.
Hello, Harry.
He hates these shows.
I know.
It stunk. They hint at spiders, making people think that the eight legs are back. Then they turn the spiders into antibodies for an item that is hatching from the moon, and they ignore the basics of science in regard to the amount of time it would take to cover the entire Earth. 3 out of 10 at the most. Gareth Lloyd, a few good moments, but some truly daft ideas, like Clara asking people to vote on Earth that the moon being an egg means it's a meh from me. That Clara thing, I think that was the act of a desperate woman. Her asking the Earth.
It's the act of someone who doesn't feel as if they can be responsible to make that decision, but ultimately she does make the decision.
Joanna Halliwell, we like Joanna. I enjoyed it. The real story was the relationship this doctor has with humans. He treats them as slightly entertaining pets and is very condescending. That'll be me then. He has absolutely no empathy with the trivial emotions of humankind. He thinks he might be immortal because he's no idea how many regenerations Gallifrey gave him, and his ego is running rampant. Clara was magnificent. He deserved both barrels, and he got them.
His ego's not running rampant. He's all bluster. In fact, this doctor is as insecure as the fifth, if not more so.
I don't think the fifth was that insecure, actually.
I think he is.
He was disappointed in the world, but he wasn't insecure.
I think this doctor is questioning himself a lot, and he's querying his own morality.
Let me finish Joanne's thing, and this will be the last one, I think. He was the reason there was even a choice to make, because he'd not taken them there. If he'd not taken them there, the shuttle crew would have died before they had the chance to set any bombs, and the space butterfly dragon thing, which is what we're calling it, would have hatched anyway. However, I think he's still very much the Doctor, but more like the first than the 11th. It's almost like these regenerations reset his personality as well. Does sound like Hartnell at times before Barbara gave him a tongue lashing. I don't think Danny is manipulative. I think he's a little bit jealous, but also worried in the way anyone would be if they knew their girlfriend went off gallivanting with an alien who's a couple of thousand years old. It's taken me a long time to properly see Capaldi as a Doctor, but now I can. There's a couple of other comments. There's one from Graham Sheridan, but we're taking too long on this. I'm sorry, Graham. Wow, we've actually been serious about something for once. I will say it again. I absolutely adore that one. Absolutely gripping. Possibly. I mean, I thought Listen was good. But I think this could possibly be the best story since the show came back in 2005. I really do. And I've said that about a few. Like The Girl Who Waited. Just blown away by it. Absolutely. Should we have the Judgment of Sinister?
Might as well.
Well?
You're not going to like me.
You say what you think.
5 out of 10.
That is a definitely sitting on the fence thing.
I know it is. And it's a 5 out of 10 because there were bits I absolutely loved and there were bits that I have a major problem with, and it's the fact that the episode was so uneven. This is why I have an issue. It may improve if I watch it again. To be honest with you, at one point it was verging on a 4.
Tell you what, when you have watched it again, we'll come back. Okay, and you can adjust your score if you want to adjust your score.
But that is the worst score I've given so far.
Well, that's okay. I think it's interesting because I couldn't stand that. Well, not a case I couldn't stand Time Heist. It was just This one really.
I don't completely hate the episode. Don't get me wrong. There are bits in it I really like.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'm struggling with the mental hurdle on some of it.
Okay.
Now that might be.
You're allowed, you know.
Call me unimaginative, but there are certain aspects to this that I am having problems with.
fair. I love the fact it's doing that to people. It's not spoon feeding. People having to sit there and wade through it in their own heads. I like that. It's making people think one way or the other.
And I have been thinking all week about it.
This explains why you were so tired this evening. Yeah. And that was Doctor Who. Right then. So, well, what we've got coming up? Got some Marvel stuff coming up. We're going to look at a classic story. At some stage, you want to review a book as well, don't you?
Worst book in the world.
Okay. Well, best say goodbye then.
Goodbye then.
Toodles.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done? Mr. Brown goes off to town on the A21, but he comes home each evening and he's ready with his gun. So watch out, Mr. Hitler, you have met your match in us. If you think you can crush us, we're afraid you've missed the bus. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?